So now we'll start learning Section 8 of Companies Act 2013, that is formation of companies with charitable objects, means formation of Section 8 company, that is charitable company or not for profit organization, non-profit company, that is known as Section 8 company. Now we will learn formation of Section 8 company. In this section, we are going to learn and the underlying purpose of formation of company is not always making profit through operating economic activities. It may have charitable or social objects. To illustrate, Prem Education, CIM, and Azim Lalji Foundation, CIM is this. Students are here. You have to understand for non-profit organization. The three alphabets are NPL. Okay, not non-profit limited. Okay, that's so students are advised to take note that fifth data section of code CIN comprises NPL signifies not for profit license company, not for profit license company, NPL. So such companies are licensed by central government under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. Relevant provisions of Section 8 and applicable rules thereto are described below. The power of central government of giving license under Section 8 delegated to ROC to extend and for purposes of subsection 1, which we will see. Then clause 1 or 2 subsection 4, except for alteration of memorandum in case of conversion into another kind of company, and subsection 5. Then powers to delegated to regional directors to the extent for the purpose of clause 1 to subsection 4 for altering of memorandum in case of conversion into another kind of company, and subsection 6. Okay, let's see subsection 1 of Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. Who can issue and get the license under Section? So who can issue the license under Section 8 and who can get the license under Section 8, we will see. Okay, now, as per Section 8, the central government, ROC, in its behalf, may grant such a license if it is proved to be to the satisfaction that a person or association of person proposed to be registered under this act as a limited company. So, as per Section 8, the central government, ROC in its behalf, because the central government delegated the power to ROC, may grant such license if it is proved to the satisfaction that a person or associated person proposed to be registered under the Act as a limited company, as in its objects the promotion of commerce, art, science, sport, education, in research, social welfare, religion, charity, protection of environment, or any such other object intends to apply its profits, if any, or other income in promoting its objects, and intends to prohibit payment of any dividend to its members. The use of the word person appears to allow even a single person to form a company for the objects specified. However, as discussed earlier, also under heading OPC of this chapter, that Rule 3, Sub-Rule 5 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014 prohibit the OPC to be incorporated or converted into a company under Section 8. Likewise, as per Section 2, Clause 85, a small company cannot be incorporated or converted into a Section 8 company, and a firm may be a member of the company registered under Section 8. So this is important. A firm cannot be the member of any other company registered under Companies Act 2013, but a firm may be a member of the company registered under Section 8 of the Companies Act. This is the exception that we need to understand. And there may be a question on this topic. And this is also important that small company cannot be incorporated or converted into Section 8 company. Same as OPC. OPC cannot be incorporated or converted into the company under Section 8. Okay, now, despite members' liability is limited, Despite members' liability is limited, the words limited or private limited shall not be added to its name. But on registration, the company shall enjoy the same privileges and obligation as of limited company. Even though we don't use suffix limited in case of Section 8 company, but on registration, the company shall enjoy same privileges and obligation as limited company. License issue may on such condition as central government deems fit. Okay. Now, what is the procedure for registration of a company using license? After granting license, an application shall be made to register under Section 8, subsection 1 itself for registration of a company in the manner specified in Rule 19 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014. Application for registration. A person or association of persons desirous of incorporating a company with limited liability under Section 8, subsection 1 shall make an application to register in Form SPICE Plus, which we have already learned. That's simplified pro forma for incorporating company electronically plus INC 32. INC 32. Along with the P as provided in the company's registration offices and fees rules 2014, supporting documents along with application. The application furnished as specified above shall be accompanied by the following documents. First, memorandum and articles of association, memorial, the declaration by advocate, chartered accountant, advocate or chartered accountant or cost accountant or company secretary in practice that the memorandum and articles of association have been drawn up in conformity of the provisions of the Section 8 and rules made thereunder, and that all the requirements of the Act and the rules made thereunder relating to the registration of a company under Section 8 and matters incidental or supplemental thereto have been complied with. The matters incidental or supplemental thereto have been complied with. And now, an estimate of the future annual, this is important, the estimate of future annual income and expenditure of the company for next 3 years. For next 3 years, future estimate of annual income and expenditure of the company, specifying the sources of income and the objects of the expenditure, sources of income and objects of expenditure, that should be filed uh, with the application. The declaration by each of the persons making the application. The declaration should be there. The estimate should be there, and declaration should be there. The declaration, professional declaration should be there. Then memorandum and article should be there. So we can say that memorandum or association of proposed company, then declaration, professional declaration, and then declaration. So we can say made. There are two types of declaration. First is professional declaration, and then person making application to declaration. Then M for memorandum and association. So we can say, okay, memorandum and association of the proposed company in declarations, either by the professionals declaration and persons making application declaration, and E for estimate. Estimate for 3 years income and expenses, income, the sources of income, and objects of expenses. Okay, now, then you have to alteration of memorandum and articles requires prior permission of government. So if for Section 8 company, a company registered under this section require prior permission from the central government with power delegated to regional directors. If you have to make alteration in the memorandum, their power is delegated to regional directors for alteration of its memorandum, and central government power delegated to ROC for alteration in its articles. Here they have given, if you have to make alteration in memorandum, then the power central government delegate the power to the regional director, and if you have to make amendments or make alteration in your articles of association, then in that case we have the central government power delegated to ROC. And just a second. Okay. Now, conversion into any other kind of company. A company registered under this section may convert itself into a company of any other kind only after complying with such condition as may be prescribed in Rule 21 and 22. So if the company has to convert from Section 8 to any other form of company, then it has to comply with Rule 21 and Rule 22 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014 as described below. A company shall pass a special resolution. First, it has to pass special resolution at general meeting for approving such conversion. An explanatory statement to notice of such general meeting must set out the details on a reason on such conversions. So such conversion, reason for such conversion should be mentioned in the explanatory statement, which we learn in the management and administration. What does mean by explanatory statement, special resolution? But for now, you listen, you will just understand that you have to pass special resolution where the votes in favor should be greater than or equal to votes against the resolution three times the votes against the resolution. Here, the important thing, these votes are counted based on the members who are present and voted. Okay, that's the case. So here, and this is called superior majority. Superior majority. Now, to notice of such general meeting must set out the details of reason of such conversion. Okay, now the company shall file an application in form number INC 80 with the regional director with the P along with the certified true copy of the special resolution and a copy of notice convening the meeting, including the explanatory statement for approval for conversion. You can remember this INC 18 because Section 18 deals with the conversion of a company. And if Section 8 company has to convert from one form to another form, it has to submit from INC 18. Now, to whom? Because the power for alteration memorandum power has been delegated to regional director, and as we already seen here, that in this section 4, subsection 4, section 8, subsection 4, and I, clause 1, for alteration of memorandum in case of conversion into another kind of company, the power is delegated to regional director. So this form should be from INC 18 should be submitted to file the application in the form number INC 18 to the regional director with the key along with certified true copy of the special resolution and a copy of the notice convening the meeting, including the explanatory statement for the approval of the conversion. Now you have to submit a certified true copy of the special resolution and a copy of notice, explanatory notice, which we have mentioned earlier, and yes, which set out the reason for such conversion that should be submitted to the regional director. So tracing, special resolution, explanatory statement, and on application C. So what we have to do, you have to follow the step of CA. First is the special resolution for such conversion in general meeting. Once resolution has been passed, then you have to for calling this meeting for passing special resolution in the explanatory statement. The board of direction, the director should mention the reason for such conversion, and once we pass the special resolution, we need to file the special resolution and this notice along with the application to convert from in any another form from Section 8 company to any other form in form number INC 18. Also attach the proof of serving of the notice served by registered post or hand delivery to the same notice. The also attach the proof of serving of notice. So we have to give the notice to these five people, 5 person, and the proof of serving of the notice has to be attached to this form. So see So we can see, yeah, we can see NC. Whatever, we can, there's a notice that the proof notice. Mm, Proof of notice should be attached. Okay. Now, the chief commissioner of the income tax having jurisdiction over the company. Here, the chief commissioner to whom we have to send the notice with CIT, chief commissioner of income tax having jurisdiction over the company. The income tax officer, ITO, who has a jurisdiction over company. So you have to send the notice to CIT, ITO, then chief secretary of the state, and then organization in which the register office of the company is situated, state in which any organization or department of the central government or state government or other authority under whose jurisdiction the company has been operating. So you can say it's Cisco. So here we have to send the notice to Cisco. First is C is for Commissioner of Income Tax Officer, Commissioner, Chief Commissioner Officer, Chief Commissioner of Income Tax having jurisdiction over company. Then Income Tax Officer who has jurisdiction over the company. Then yes for Chief Secretary of the state in which the company has a register office. The register office of the company is situated, and then the organized then Chief Secretary. So this is Chief Secretary and other in any organization or department of central. Cisco, Cisco company secretary and any other any organization or department of the central government or state government or other authority under whose jurisdiction the company has. So organization or department, central government or state government or other authority under whose jurisdiction the company has been operating. So this proof of notice to be attached with the Form INC 18 or incorporation of Section 8 companies. Okay. If any of these authorities if any of these authorities wish to make any presentation to regional director, it shall do so within 60 days. So if any of these authorities wish to make any representation to regional director, it shall do within 60 days. So for these authorities, the CISPO authorities got days of 60 within get the days of 60 days, period of 60 days. Within this 60 days, they have to if they want to make any representation, then they can make such representation to the regional director and of the receipt of the notice from the time 6 month period of 6 months from the receipt of the notice after giving an opportunity to the company. Okay. Now, an intimation along with a copy of application with annexure as filed in the form number INC 18. An intimation along with a copy of the application with annexure as filed in form incorporation 80 with the regional director shall also go to the registrar through MCA system. So it goes through MCA system, so don't worry. Automatically it will go to register through MCA system. Now, E, the company shall within a week from the date of submitting the application. So, for example, here, listen, this is at this point of time, it applied to regional director that we want to convert, we have to convert from Section 8 company to any other form of company where it use this application in INC 18, along with special resolution, extended notice, and this application in Avalon. Then the notice, the proof of notice to Cisco. Mm, Proof of notice to Cisco. This should be filed with RG. Then RG will give this Cisco the time of 16 days from the receipt of notice. They will get 16 days of time to make a representation. if any, about the company. We'll begin by giving the chance to they giving the chance to the company first. Then, if after this application has been made within a week, means like within a week from the date of submitting. So within a week, by submitting this application to RG, the company has to publish a notice, from the at its own expenses, and a copy of the notice as published shall be sent forthwith to the regional director, and the said notice shall be in the form number INC 19. So INC 19, yeah, it has to publish a notice, and the same notice should be submitted to RG also, and shall be published. And for the shall be published at least once in a vernacular newspaper and on the website in the principal vernacular language of the district in which the registered office of the company is situated, and having wide circulation in that district. So the principal vernacular language of the district in which the registered office of the company is situated, and having wide circulation in that district, and at least once in English language in an English newspaper having wide circulation in that district. Okay. Now, on the website of the company, if any, and ads may be notified or directed by the central government. Now, the company should have filed all its financial statements and annual returns up to the financial year preceding the submission of the application to the regional director, and all other returns required to be filed under the Act up to the date of submitting the application to the regional director. Before each company has to do to make an application, to file an application under INC 18, it has to file all its financial statements and annual returns up to the financial year preceding the submission of application to the regional director, and all other returns required to be filed under this Act up to the date of submitting the application to the regional director. Okay, now, in the event the application is made after the expiry of 3 months from the date of preceding financial year to which the financial statement has been filed, a statement of the financial position duly certified by chartered accountant made up to the date not preceding 30 days of the filing of the application shall be attached. Okay. On the receipt of the application and on being satisfied, the regional director shall issue an order approving the conversion of the company into a company of any other kind subject to the in any other kind subject to such terms and conditions as be imposed in the facts and circumstances of each case. Before imposing the condition or rejecting the application, the company shall be given a reasonable opportunity of being heard by the regional director. On the receipt of the approval of the regional director, the company shall convene a general meeting of its members to pass a special resolution for amending its memorandum of association and articles of association, and the company shall thereafter file this with registrar with declaration to add a condition, if any, imposed by the regional directors. On receipt of the documents referred above, the registrar shall register the documents and issue the press certificate of incorporation. Revocation of license. Now we will see the revocation of license. The central government power delegated to the regional director may by order revoke the license of the company where the company contravenes any of the requirements or the condition of this section subject to which a license is issued. So if the company contravenes of any requirements or the conditions of this section subject to which a license is issued, the affairs of the company are conducted fraudulently and in violation of the objects of the company and prejudicial to public interest. In that case, the central government can revoke the license of the company. On revocation, the registrar shall put limited or private limited against the company's name in the register. Before such revocation, a written notice must be served on such company. An opportunity to be heard in the matter shall be given. Okay. So two conditions. In these two conditions, in the case of revocation of license, first the company contravenes any requirement of Section 8 condition of the section subject to which license has been issued, and the affairs of the company company or conducted fraudulently in violation of the objects of the company or prejudicial to public interest. Now, where a license is revoked and the central government is satisfied that it is essential to public interest, then after giving a reasonable opportunity of being heard by order, it may direct that a company be wound up under this act, excess assets on the winding up or dissolution after the satisfaction of its debts or liability may be transferred to another company registered under this section and having similar objects and subject to such condition as the tribunal may impose or may be sold or proceeds thereof credited to the insolvency and bankruptcy fund form under section 224 of the insolvency and bankruptcy code 2016. The company be amalgamated with another company registered under this section and having similar objects, the central government empowered with the overriding effects to provide the said amalgamation to form a single entity with such constitution, properties, powers, rights, interests, authorities, and privileges, and with such liabilities, duties, and obligations as may be specified in the order. Here we will see the penalty and punishment in contravention of Section 8 are summarized below. Company makes any default in complying with any of the requirements down in this section, the company shall be punishable with fine varying from 10 lakh to 1 crore. From 10 lakh to 1 crore. And directors and every, so this is for company. And for directors of every officer of the company who is in default shall be punishable with a fine varying from 25,000 rupees to 25 lakh. The officer or the officer in default will be charged with 25K to 25 lakh, punishable with fine varying from 25,000 to 25 lakh rupees. Where the affairs of the company were conducted fraudulently, every officer in default shall be liable for action under Section 446. Now here we'll see the contravention, license revoke also, and punishment also. License revoke, expression on limited or private limited added to the name, then winding up or surplus asset transferred to the Section 8 company with similar object or insolvency or bankruptcy fund, or amalgamate with Section 8 company with similar objective. And punishment, company with 10 lakh to 1 crore rupees and director or officer in default with 25K to 25 lakhs and fraud under Section 447. Additional reading, relaxation available to Section 8 company include can call its general meeting by giving a clear 14 days notice instead of 21 clear days. So for other companies, there is the condition of 21 clear days, but for Section 8 company, it is of clear 14 days for giving the notice for general meeting. Requirement of minimum number of directors, independent director, etc. does not apply and need not constitute nomination or remuneration committee and shareholders relationship committee. This committee need not to be constituted. So this is all about Section 8 company. Now we will see Section 9 in our next video. Thank you.